Hi everyone, so for this problem we're going to be looking at a words in context question. Remember, we need to think about both what the word choices mean as well as which one best fits the context of the passage. So let's take a look at this. So let's see our passage here and what it is about. So given that the conditions in binary star systems should make planetary formation nearly impossible, it's not surprising that the existence of planets in such systems has lacked blank explanation. These two people shed light on the subject when they used modeling to determine a complex set of factors that could support planets' development. Okay, so talking about space here. So let's see what kind of context we can pick out. So we have, first of all, we have a bit of a contrast at the beginning here. So we have, given that the conditions in binary star systems should make planetary formation nearly impossible. So it should be impossible, but it's not. It's not surprising that the existence of planets in such systems has lacked blank explanation. So this is our context here that we need to find. So let's keep going. We have the researchers shed light on the subject when they used modeling to determine a complex set of factors that could support planets' development. Okay, so shed light on the subject. So here we have the idea that, we believed that planetary formation is nearly impossible given the conditions in binary star systems. So then we have, it's not surprising that the existence of planets in such systems has lacked blank explanation. So we're kind of lacking in these explanations, and we're not really sure. They're kind of unclear, because then we have that the researchers shed light on the subject, which means that it was, previously in the dark, but now there's some light being shed on it by these people. So let's take a look at our choices. So starting with A, we have discernible. What does discernible mean? So discernible has to do with something that we can tell, like we can be able to see, able to understand. So I think like such systems has lacked discernible explanation. So maybe this might make sense. I'm not sure if it's the best option, so let's keep going. Let's see, for B, we have straightforward. So it's lacked a straightforward explanation. What do we think about that choice? This one seems pretty good to me, straightforward. It seems like this is a pretty complex issue. So thinking about this definitely seems like a straightforward explanation would be really helpful, especially since these researchers used a model and really helped explain it in greater detail and more easily understandable. So let's keep B in there too. C, what does inconclusive mean? So inconclusive has to do with something that's, not conclusive. So conclusive, thinking about making a conclusion, like making a general claim, being able to say a statement about something. But if it's not conclusive, then that means that we can't make a firm judgment claim either way. So saying that these systems has lacked an inconclusive explanation wouldn't really make sense if we're lacking an inconclusive explanation. Because that would be weird. It's a little bit too much of a kind of double negative there. So let's get rid of C. And then lastly, we have D. So for D, we would have such systems has lacked an unbiased explanation. Now, unbiased might make sense at first glance here, like unbiased explanation, which again, we have kind of the same double negative idea here, where we're saying we're lacking an unbiased explanation. So unbiased has to do with, if something is biased, then it's kind of leaning one way or another. So if it's unbiased, then it's not leaning one way or another. So if we're lacking an unbiased explanation, like we would want to have an unbiased explanation. So again, it gets a little bit confusing here. It also doesn't really have any indication in the passage based on the context that there's some sort of bias going on here, or there isn't. So unbiased doesn't really make sense for the context of the passage. So we're just left with A and B. And between A and B, we have to pick one which best fits the context. Again, the context is really important. So thinking here with the idea of shedding light on the subject, this idea was nearly impossible. It's very complicated, and then they're shedding light on it. So in terms of that, I think that B would be the best choice here, because that way you would have lacking a straightforward explanation. So once they shed light on the subject, then they would have a straightforward explanation. The kind of cause and effect is really clear there. So B would be your right answer.